Welcome to Discover Indie Film. I'm Jeff Howard, and I am sitting here with Vernon Davidson. Hey, Vernon.
Hey, how are you?
I am good, and I'm having a really good time with you. You are a fun person to talk to.
Well, thank you. I've been told that before.
Yes. The storytellers.
Yes.
It's always good to be a storyteller and to know storytellers. All right, well, Vernon is here because you co-directed and co-produced documentary SEGAL, which was at the Sherman Oaks Film Festival last year in 2024, took home the award, the Grand Jury Award for Best Feature Film Documentary. And it was the world premiere, actually, at Sherman Oaks Film Festival.
It was indeed.
And I fully acknowledge that was just our good luck.
It was kismet.
Because yeah, you happen to be local, but obviously, if I know no one sits on their film and goes, I'm not going to play any other festivals till I do Sherman Oaks.
You know what? There's a decision that you sit there and you make. You're like, well, I want to enter it into Cannes and Sundance, of course, or Cannes, as most people say. But you put in your submissions, and who picks you is going to tell you when you're premiering.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's when we just like, I guess we're doing it at Sherman Oaks.
Yeah, and it worked out. And I have to say, it was just an honor.
It was great for us. We were treated like family. We couldn't be prouder. We sold out 2 theaters. Did not expect to do that right out of the gate, but it was a nice experience, and everybody seemed to appreciate it.
And it's such a high-quality film. It makes me very glad. Our first 7 years, we were in a nice little local playhouse. We kept our costs low, and we grew enough to move to a state-of-the-art theater. And I'm so glad that, we showed your film in a state-of-the-art, beautiful theater with amazing projection and sound.
Yeah. No, I really enjoyed it.
Leather recliners. Doesn't hurt.
Yeah, no, the Glendale, was it the Glendale Look Theaters?
The Look Cinemas in Glendale.
That was a good time.
Yeah. Sadly, here in Sherman Oaks itself, there's not really an excellent theater. So we got wooed out to Glendale. They wooed us because they figured out the math that festivals bring more people in than Hollywood movies do now. And then those people buy beer and wine and
make a night of
some French fries, and they're a dine-in cinema, so they're smart. They're smart. They pursue festivals like ours.
They create a community. It creates a community for the theater.
It really does. Yeah, it makes more people aware of it. So listen, if you're listening to this podcast, the podcast before this one in the feed for Discover Indie Film is, believe it or not, a 2-hour. Well, should I tell them how long? Maybe I shouldn't.
We're going to edit it down.
Well, no, we're showing the whole thing unadulterated, but showing, playing, whatever it is. So listen to the podcast before this one for just a really great conversation with Vernon.
Thank you.
Just great.
A
gentleman
myself.
with 25 plus years of experience here in Hollywood. Moved here in 2000, you said, right?
Yep.
It's pretty easy for me to do that math.
So
2025.
That's why I moved here in 2000, so everyone could be accustomed.
So excellent story. So get the story there, and there's links for the SEGAL film, the SEGAL documentary in the show notes. This podcast is going to be a 4 questions one, which means I get to drive Vernon crazy by asking him, name 3 films that you love, name an underrated film, name an overrated film, and name a lesser-known film that people should seek out. It's going to be interesting you're lesser known because we're like the same generation in the same country, so maybe I will know you're lesser known, but we'll see. So you want to just name some favorites? And by the way, I always joke, I don't have a black and white striped shirt with a whistle. I'm not a referee. If you go over 3, I'm not going to stop you.
My hands down favorite movie of all time, because I enjoy the storytelling. It's familiar. The chaos, the violence of the movie is just something that feels very familiar to me growing up. And then that's Goodfellas. 1989, I think it was Goodfellas, unless it came out in 90, I forget.
It's pretty perfect.
It's
so well done.
I was in college. I was doing a thesis on Martin Scorsese, and I had realized that a lot of the stuff that I was looking at in Goodfellas I had seen before in his other movies, and I started that's when I started piecing together the auteur theory actually made sense to me. That the directors are simply telling the same story through the same theme through different stories, who they are.
But you see the signature, right? Just like you can recognize a Picasso, you can recognize a Scorsese.
You absolutely can. And it works for me because it felt less formal than, say, The Godfather or a David Lean movie, which also are favorites. But you said to pick my favorites. Goodfellas is number one. If it's on TV, I'll start reciting it word for word. I've seen it over 100 times. Second movie, I'm going to go with Yankee Doodle Dandy. Saw it in college when we were studying film history, and in a lecture that the professor titled Cagney's Shift from Bad Guy to Dancing Man, we went from Public Enemy to Yankee Doodle Dandy. And I'm 20 years old. I just watched it, never saw it before. And walking home from the screening, I'm singing and I'm dancing and I'm not understanding why. But I just got excited about learning about something that was so close yet so far and done in such an entertaining way. I knew the songs of George M. Cohan. I didn't know who the F that guy was. I didn't know his name. But I knew how those songs made me feel. And watching that movie made me prouder than I've ever felt to be an American. That this guy who just wanted to entertain got this award from FDR, and it was just like, oh, I can contribute as an artist, and people can get affected by an artist. Over there, that sold World War I to every American, and this guy thought, I'm going to do this to help our cause, and he had intent. It was just, I love that movie. Great movie. And then my last movie I'm going to say is Close Encounters of the Third Kind. The reason being, Richard Dreyfuss feels like he's being called someplace, and that someplace is Devil's Tower in Wyoming. And I felt at that time that I was being called to Hollywood, California, which was this fictional place that I had heard of and only seen in television and movies, and I had to be there. And I couldn't explain it. I just knew that I felt right. And when I did eventually arrive in Hollywood and started working on the Universal film lot, I felt like I was on the mothership. Like I had just stepped aboard the mothership, and I was with my people. And that's when I knew that I had made the right decision in this career. So that's a big favorite of mine. What are the other categories?
Well, the next one is a film that you feel is underrated.
You were talking about Brother from Another Planet. That was so great. Underrated movie. There's a movie that for a little bit in the 80s, in the late 80s, I would say, I think in 87, they got a little buzz. And I got the pleasure of working with the director-writer. And I asked him, how the hell did you make that movie? Because it touched me to my core. It was about a brother and a sister. And it was about I had two sisters. And it was a Latino movie. And told by a Latino filmmaker, Gregory Nava. And everything that he's saying in the movie with this brother and sister, my mom had preached to us. It felt it was a cultural experience for me. And it was called El Norte. and it was about the people of, this brother and sister from Guatemala who tried to get up to El Norte, which is the United States, and the only thing that they've ever seen about El Norte was in National Geographic magazines. So they had this false sense of what was here, especially for someone like them, who they came in illegally and they had to go through coyotes and the whole business. And I'm 16, 17 years old, just being ripped at the decisions that these two people made that I would have made as well. And it's way underappreciated. It gave Gregory Nava his career. He went on to make movies like Selena, and I worked with him on American Family, which was a television show that would air on PBS. And I was surprised to learn that he had experience with PBS, because when he pitched El Norte, when he had written it, he had told him he was going to make a documentary about how people come across the border, but he went and he took that money and made a narrative film. And I fucking loved his chutzpah and just the balls to go and do it. He took the same initiative that guys like Ed Burns, Kevin Smith, and the like, and Robert Rodriguez. It's okay.
It's all right. We're still recording, but it's all right. I've always told you it's okay for you to make noise.
That's okay.
I thought it was at 7.
It was.
We've gone long.
The front door was open, so I'm like, oh, you unlocked it because I texted you. Oh, shit. Oh, sorry. Okay.
No worries.
Let me get out of here.
We could, if you want me to, we'll edit it, but honestly, Karina leaves everything in and because she thinks this is funny, right? This is funny.
This is good stuff.
Cake, and I left it, and I almost left without my phone.
Wait, you didn't bring me chocolate cake?
I had it in my bag, but then
Well, this is we're going to have a talking.
something happened, like a bunch of stuff didn't make it into my bag, including my phone and my chocolate cake.
Fair enough.
All right.
Tonight she had a ladies' dinner. She got invited by some friends' house,
They do it better than men do.
and no men were invited.
Yeah, men do too.
But I said, that's okay. Vernon's coming over. We're going to talk.
Good. What was the other category?
So next one is a film you feel is overrated.
I didn't even think of it until right now, because I never think a movie's overrated. But it's not like sampling. It felt like the movie was sampling, and it felt like it was cheating, and it didn't make sense to me. And it was the Baz Luhrmann movie with Ewan McGregor and Nicole Kidman, which I forget what the hell it was called.
Moulin Rouge?
Moulin Rouge. People freaking love that movie, and I just was like, bleh.
I can't comment because I haven't. And by the way, I consider it a great deficit. I'm like 0 for 4 on Baz Luhrmann. I have friends who tell me you got to see the Baz Luhrmann films, and I'm like, I'm going to watch it someday. I didn't see Romeo plus Juliet.
I
haven't
did.
seen
That's when
Moulin
my
Rouge.
wife and I, we went there on our first day, one of our first dates, and she loved it. So I'm like, okay, Baz reached her because he sure as hell didn't reach me in that movie. And I continue to go see Baz Luhrmann movies.
Didn't he start like Strictly Ballroom or something like that? Maybe? Yeah, but
It's a miss. It's a miss for me for Baz.
That's so interesting.
And everyone gets appalled when I say that. And then no offense, because I know people love him, but there's something missing in my cerebral cortex that can't process.
And actually, that
Luhrmann
is
movie.
actually, I like what you said, because that's what when I say, like, when I try not to insult films, I just say they didn't make it for me. It just wasn't for me.
It was
Not everything's for everyone.
overtly campy. It was. Why are you taking all the songs that I'm not a jukebox a musical person. You know what I'm talking about? A jukebox musical.
I
Just going to take all these
a
favorite
couple
songs,
years ago, yeah.
and I'm going to make a musical about this. I'm like, I could play a Billy Joel album if I want to. I don't need to see Moving Out the Billy Joe. It seems like a high school play to me. It's odd, but all the power to people who do love him.
Yeah, and they love him, and that's great. But I can't say if it's for me or not because I haven't even sampled the meal. All right, one question left, which is a lesser known film that you'd like people to seek out and watch. Which actually could have been El Norte, but that's all right.
Here's a movie, and I'm going to say this because it just came out, or it's still. I saw it at the Phoenix Film Festival, and we were at some filmmakers' dinner, and I'm looking at this guy who's, to me, when you're doing this as long as I have, I'm like, oh, he's an actor. I know him. I've recognized him. Oh, wait, I've worked with him. But I didn't say anything because every time I ever mentioned that, they're like, and? So we worked, like, so I don't say anything. And he and his friends, I said, tell me about your movie. And they said, we made a $7,000 movie. We made it in 7 days. And we're here promoting it. We got turned down to like 18 film festivals last year, 18-0, and then I think they won at Phoenix, one of the best ensemble, best direction. I forgot what it was, but it was the big prize at the Phoenix Film Festival, and it was called Bert. And the thing that blew me away on this movie is it's black and white. And so when you're watching a black and white movie, you just process it differently, and your attitude about it is different. And so I'm watching this movie, and he already told me what it was about. It's essentially about a gentleman who is approached by a younger guy who claims to be his son. And the gentleman who experiences this, the performer, the non-actor, has full-blown Parkinson's. He just does. And no one talks. I mean, they talk about it so brief, but it's not the movie. So you're watching it, and I know that from the filmmaker's reference that this man really has Parkinson's, but it's pulling at your heartstrings, and it's making you feel stuff that you didn't think you'd be feeling in this movie. The story points in the movie are because that's what they came upon when they went to the location, and they just made it part of the movie. They embraced it. We're always struggling for, like I said, that $25,000 movie. This guy still, in this day and age, made it for $7,000. I said, I'm going to go see this movie because I'm at a film festival. That's what we do. I'm going to go see it. I saw it, and I loved it. And and the young actor had worked with me on the Goldbergs, in the Karate Kid episode, and he impressed me because he was very funny, and he looked just smart. I don't know what that means, but I was impressed with him. And when I saw him in the movie, after having talked to the filmmakers, he carried that movie because they did a lot of improv. They had a story structure, but they gave a liberal feeling to the actors. If you feel like saying this, if it's along the same line, go right ahead. And they went with it. And this kid, I say kid because I'm 56. This gentleman is in his 30s. He was a filmmaker as well. It's like I want him to do a Curb Your Enthusiasm because I know he could play along with those guys. He was very, very smart. And the film, you think, oh, you've seen this before. I'm your son, you know? There's something going on. There's some hijinks going on. And most movies I've seen won't go here, so I know that's not going to happen. It happened. It went there. And that was like, oh, real filmmakers. Oh, they're because you got to go through it. You got to, the characters got to go through it. And he goes through it. And each character in the movie, which is I don't know, five characters. They each have their arc. And that's great to watch and process this in a $7,000 movie they shot in Sun Valley. So look out for Bert. I think it's a 2025 movie. And it's out at the film festivals, and they're trying to self-distribute. So I wish them the very best.
Excellent. Actually, every once in a while, someone will name a film they saw at another festival. And I just find that to be so gracious and thoughtful. Like, because besides the fact that some filmmakers don't watch other movies when they go to a festival, they only care about their own. The fact that you watch someone else's film and now you're telling people about it. Like, that's...
I'm a movie fan.
You know what I mean, though?
I love movies.
Well, I guess I'm complaining about the people who, and I'm air quoting it, they're filmmakers, but they don't even love watching other people's movies. Sometimes I think, I'll close with my last joke, which is when my wife and I are watching screeners for the festivals, and when, she's an unofficial jury member, but she affects my vote.
Of course she does. My wife does too.
Right? And if I see that director, if I see someone's name 3 or 4 times before the first scene, in other words, if it's a film by, the person's name,
music
and
by,
then a couple things, and then
edited by,
and then if they like give themselves like a different, like instead of written directed by, they already did a film by, they do written by my name, produced by my name,
because I'm going to grab everything I can right now. This is the only time I'm going to get it.
I mean, that's what
I made those movies in Chicago in the 90s with those guys. He says, will you be in my crew? He actually asked, will you be my crew? So it's he and I'm in the boom, I'm doing sound, and I'm lighting the set, and he is everything. Everywhere we went was a public place. I said, you don't have any background in this scene? And he says, no, this is like between 2 and 4 when it's light traffic and I'm like, there's no light traffic about nothing. And so when you watch the final product, it looked like the land of no people.
Yeah.
It was a weird, creepy movie. So yeah.
But you know that person didn't make the film because they had a story to tell. They're making the film because they want everyone to look at their name.
I gotta make it. Robert Rodriguez did the same thing, but he made a hella movie. And he made it twice, and we went to see him both. Like, what the hell is wrong with us? And we were both great. And you're comparing El Mariachi to Desperado. You're comparing them, every one. And I think he did exactly what anyone would do. He took El Mariachi and one-upped it with Desperado, with the amazing Salma Hayek and Antonio Banderas and all his cinematography and storytelling,
Yeah. Well, and he showed you, this is what I can do with some money.
Or without money.
I showed you I can make a great film with no money. Now I'll show you I can make a great film with some money.
You paid attention. You weren't bored in the movie.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he absolutely deserved.
Still does. Whatever he does is always good.
I love that he ended up being like, he had kids and he's like, I'm going to make movies for kids.
I love that.
The Spy Kids shit is great.
I love that he did that. I love that he worked on The Mandalorian. I loved that he keeps doing what he's doing. If I had his success and his money, I'd be doing the same thing.
Absolutely. All right, well, I will get us out of here. I know you even have somewhere to be, right?
I have to go pick up my daughter.
You got to pick up your daughter. Thank you, Vernon Davidson.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for everyone who is listening. If you want to learn more about Vernon and his film SEGAL, which is an amazing documentary that hopefully you'll be able to see pretty soon, go to the clickable links, segal-doc.com and at Segal Movie on Instagram. And for the Discover Indie Film Podcast, thank you for listening. Be nice, like and subscribe if you're listening to this. And if you want to learn more about the podcast, go to discoverindiefilm.com. On social media, it's always at DIFWins. And discoverindiefilm.com is for the podcast and some other stuff. For the nonprofit that runs the 2 film festivals, that's discoverindiefilm.org. I'm trying to mention the .org more now. All right, so And that's where you can learn all about Sherman Oaks Film Festival, where we premiered SEGAL, and Film Invasion Los Angeles, which is Sherman Oaks' sister festival. Both are hitting their 10th anniversaries this year, and next year will be the first year for Film Invasion Lima, Peru. All right. Yeah. You know, Oakland almost happened. Grand Rapids almost happened.
Keep pushing the franchises,
London
baby.
almost happened. But it's actually like just perfect that it's South America. You know?
You're going to love it.
LA and Lima, we belong together anyway. All right. Vernon, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And thank you, everyone, for listening.